The World War Hitler started in the summer of 1939, toppled first Poland, then France, then Norway, and European countries one after another followed suit. It even threatened Russia and our loyal ally Great Britain. Despite the war raging across Europe, over 70% of Americans remained opposed to the U.S. entering World War II. Early reports of Nazi atrocities and a Jewish genocide did not change American public opinion. However, when Japan attacked Hawaii and other American possessions in December 1941, American public opinion changed overnight. "We have awakened a sleeping giant," one Japanese admiral said. For when the American people and the nation's industrial might turned to war, the Axis powers of Germany, Italy, and Japan faced an unstoppable enemy, or so it seemed. Nearly overnight, American industry changed from manufacturing bicycles, washing machines, and Buicks to rifles, tanks, and jeeps. Americans enlisted or were drafted into the military by the millions. Within months of entering the war, U.S. forces began guarding Atlantic convoys, bombed Tokyo, engaged the Japanese Navy in the Coral Sea, defeated it at Midway, and assaulted Guadalcanal. The Japanese admiral's prediction had come true. On the other side of the world, the U.S. supplied and fed Great Britain and Russia. The U.S. defeated Hitler's forces in North Africa and began pushing the Germans out of Italy. The Normandy invasion and swift advance across France had people saying, "The boys will be home by Christmas." Instead, Christmas 1944 found American troops battling almost 500,000 Germans in the snowy Ardennes forest. The Battle of the Bulge lasted over 5 weeks and would be America's costliest battle of the war, with over 100,000 casualties, including tens of thousands of soldiers missing or captured. Any hopes for a peaceful Christmas were crushed. Mothers across America went to bed each night praying a Western Union man would not appear at her door the next morning. Our nation was tired of the casualties, tired of the war. Bond sales funding for the war effort began to sag. Now, America was going broke, as well as losing its young men. More news of heavy casualties followed in February 1945 when the U.S. Marines invaded Iwo Jima, the first ever attack on Japanese soil. Newspapers reported thousands of casualties in the first days of combat. More telegrams, more death. What had become of the victory by Christmas? Instead, winter 1944-45 became a winter of dread. No one knew it yet, but the gloom was about to lift. On February 23, 1945, a 33-year-old San Francisco photographer climbed Mount Suribachi, the highest point on Iwo Jima. He took a single photograph that changed America forever. 6 Marines raising the American flag over the island, a sure sign of victory. 2 days later, Joe Rosenthal's photo filled the front pages of Sunday papers across America. The gloom had begun to lift. Things must be going better for our boys. The battle's turning in our favor. Perhaps this signaled a change of fortune everywhere. The tragedy of the Bulge was now behind us, and spring arrived with a new promise of victory. Sales of the bond drive improved. With the Iwo Jima picture as its symbol, the 7th War Bond Drive exceeded all expectations, raising billions of dollars. The country would not go bankrupt. America felt again like one nation, with victory its goal. Joe Rosenthal's photo lifted the spirit of Americans and shifted the country's momentum. Most of all, it gave us hope.